pretty much everything you need to know about taming and using a Bloodstalker in ARK Survival Evolved. Bloodstalkers can only be located within the bog biome of the ARK Genesis DLC map. They're mostly found high up in the trees attached to branches, however it could be found lower to the ground if they've been knocked down somehow. Just listen for the subtle silk spinning and gentle suckling noises to bag yourself one of Spider-Man's drug-induced wet dreams. Alright, so let's dive into how to tame one of these long-legged spawns of Satan. Given how most Bloodstalkers will be found high up in the trees, the process of acquiring one of these creatures can be rather dangerous. I would recommend bringing multiple parachutes and using insect repellent during the taming process, as the swarms of insects that travel around the bog can interrupt you. Bloodstalkers are technically tamed using a non-violent method in which you as the player are softly reeled in via a fine silk cloth, caressed ever so gently by the mesmerizing creature, and then feasted upon live for an extended period of time. But don't worry, as long as you have the Bloodstalker's favorite food in your inventory, it'll consume it instead of you and commence the taming process. The Bloodstalker's favorite food is blood packs, and oddly enough, this is the only food that I've found that actually works on the disturbing creatures. As it currently stands, you will need a lot of blood packs in order to tame a Bloodstalker of a decent level. I'm talking blade levels of blood, so you better pop some thinners, ram a bamboo shiv in your arm, and be prepared to drain for the next 48 hours because you'll need an entire f***ing blood bank before you can bag one of these things! Bloodstalkers do seem to have a taming modifier that some individuals have reportedly been able to boost by first feeding it small tames, but it's unconfirmed if this actually does anything to improve the taming effectiveness. So once you've got your inventory of blood packs and located a Bloodstalker, simply approach it and it'll eventually begin to reel you in. Once you're in close proximity, it'll begin feasting on the blood packs inside of your inventory until it's tamed. There doesn't seem to be any sort of progression bar or way of knowing the taming effectiveness, so just cross your fingers and wait it out. Once the Bloodstalker's tame, it'll eat meat to survive like most other creatures. Alright, so let's dive into the functionality of the Bloodstalker and showcase some of what it can do. Bloodstalkers feature a left mouse button grapple/pull ability, a right mouse button double grapple, a light damage melee attack with the C key, a spacebar jump and double jump ability, a control key parachute function while falling, the ability to submerge underwater with the X key, and the ability to climb onto surfaces with the shift key. Using the left mouse button, you can grapple and pull in smaller creatures that the Bloodstalker can feed on to restore health. This grapple can also be used to prevent creatures from getting away if you're trying to tame them. This single grapple can also be used to latch onto nearby trees and structures for transportation purposes. The right mouse button acts as a slingshot of sorts, which shoots 2 strands of web to nearby trees and objects and allows the Bloodstalker to swing or quickly pull its way through the environment. Bloodstalkers naturally walk on the surface of water, however once submerged can make for very fast aquatic mounts. Bloodstalkers can very quickly navigate through the environment and climb on all surfaces with similar functionality to that of a rock drake. Players are immune to fall damage while riding a Bloodstalker, however can still be pulled off of their mount via other Bloodstalkers. Players are even able to wield weapons while riding it. It's worth mentioning that if the Bloodstalker gets too low on health, it'll begin to suck the blood out of the player who's riding it, so please be aware of this when you're out exploring. So with all this in mind, what is the main purpose of the Bloodstalker, aside from restarting the voices in my head? Well, Bloodstalkers can make for fantastic travel mounts or support mounts. If a travel mount is what you're looking for, you'll want to invest mainly into health and stamina with an optional point investment into movement speed. Please note that investing points into movement speed doesn't seem to affect the rate at which the Bloodstalker can swing, but rather only augments its walking speed on land. If a support mount is what you're looking for, you'll want to invest mainly into health, stamina, and weight. Because of the Bloodstalker's grapple functionality, they can make for a very useful companion when taming other creatures or grappling players that might otherwise try to get away. Players can even use the Bloodstalker's climbing ability to position himself above the creature they're trying to knock out for a worry-free taming process. Alright, well that about wraps up this video. I hope that you enjoyed, and if you did, please be sure to give it a like down below, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and leave me comments because my spidey sense is tingling, bitch.